overall, we're super impressed with the Jeep. Mike over at the Fab Lab freaking killed it. If you guys ever need to build a prerunner, want to, have the desire, hit up Mike. He's in Simi Valley, California.
What's up guys, Jesse and Melissa here with Adventure Endeavor, and we are out in Barstow taking our Jeep for the first test run.
Woo! We finally got the Jeep out in the desert. This is our first run. We're gonna kind of go through how it's doing, little issues we've had, little tweaks we need to make, and obviously we're gonna show you guys us, mashing some whoops. Hope you guys enjoy. All right guys, so we're gonna start with just kind of letting you guys know how it works. So out of the box, super happy with the Jeep. The front end works so well. We've hit the bump stops a couple times. Obviously you know that we grafted on a Ford Bronco F-150 frame, so we have twin traction beams. It has been incredible. ADS shocks working great. So overall the front has been incredible, like I just said. We are super happy on that. I don't think it needs much more tweaking to get it all dialed. So now let's go talk about the rear. On the rear of the Jeep, we did a cantilever system with a custom leaf pack from Deaver Suspension and some ADS 2.5-inch shocks. If you've never ridden a cantilever before, what's great about it is basically you keep the shocks under the bed. You don't have to poke shocks into the cargo area, and they just ride very, very well. We have about 18 inches of rear travel here. Wow. I do think that the ADS shocks are gonna need a little bit stiffer valving, which is very common, guys. If you build a truck, you're kind of guessing in the beginning, and then obviously you're gonna have to do your best to get it valved to work in the type of terrain that you like to off-road in. So for us and some of the bigger whoops, we might have hit the bump stops a little bit in the rear. We just need to stiffen it up, and other than that, we're good to go. If you haven't been following our channel, you wouldn't know that we swapped in a LS. So this is a 5.3 liter Chevy V8 out of a 2001 Chevy Silverado, and behind it is a 4L80E 4-speed automatic transmission. So I kind of want to talk about that and let you guys know. Now we're going to go through all the minor issues we've had, obviously, when you do a complete rebuild. As far as the motor goes, we only had one issue, and it was basically where we had mounted the computer. I don't know why, but we were getting a code, and one side of the motor wasn't getting fuel properly, and it was kind of running rough a little bit. But I since kind of tweaked the way the computer is mounted and made sure everything is sturdy and connected well, and it's been running great. We did leave the stock Jeep radiator in here, and this thing is cool as a cucumber. So the Jeep is running nice and cool, which is awesome. Power is great. We do have 355 gearing in the Jeep front and rear for the axle differential gearing, and it does okay. We might eventually re-gear down the road, but overall with this LS, 300 horsepower, the power plant, the drivetrain of the Jeep has been solid. We're stoked. I want to talk about a few small, minor issues that need to be resolved at some point in time. Whenever you're beating on a vehicle like this, like we are, there's going to be things that maybe rub, don't stay exactly where you want them to stay. I mean, knock on wood, we haven't had anything that has failed yet, but every time we've gone out for like a little run, We'll pull over, look through the engine bay, look for things rubbing, everything like that, and we're gonna try and zip tie them down, get them corrected, and find out where they wanna live. One thing that we had was in here on our passenger side, we definitely are gonna have to trim this steel inner fender a little bit more. We're having some rubbish of our heater lines here. We might have to make these longer or move them. Our reservoir hose actually rubbed right here on the inner fender, so we're probably going to trim this, open up, give a little more room for everything in here. But luckily we caught the rubbing before we had an issue, so that's great. So another thing that is not really broken, it's just a little pissed off at the moment, is our power steering pump. I think maybe I need to get a new cap. Maybe this is not holding pressure, but it's constantly spitting out some power steering fluid. Not the end of the world as long as we make sure the fluid is topped off. Underneath, our Ford Bronco steering box is puking up a little bit of fluid as well. This is the original steering box out of a 1992 Ford Bronco, Ford F-150, same thing. This sat in a Minnesota junkyard for many, many years, so we might need to replace it or upgrade it. All right, guys, so now we're under the rear of the truck, and this is probably where we're having some of our biggest issues. Definitely not the end of the world. And you gotta remember, all this stuff is custom back here, so tolerances and clearances are very, very tight. One issue that we're having is right here. Our leaf spring clamp is extremely close to the tire. It's so close, in fact, that it's rubbing. I noticed it and it needed to be addressed immediately. So basically what I did was, for the time being, I pulled the bolt out, the clamp bolt, and that helped. And so now at least it's rubbing on a very smooth area, and we've been beating on it pretty hard and it seems like it'll be okay. We're gonna do a few different things to remedy this down the road. But right here, you can tell we have some tire rubbage. So probably what we'll do is we'll just, you know, kind of just do it caveman style. We'll just get a really big hammer, kind of just hit this down, and hopefully we get the clearance we need. The rear of this truck was very, very difficult to get all the clearances possible. These are 35-inch Milestar Patagonia MTs. We could have gone with 33s, but you know, 35s are just cooler. Overall, we're super impressed with the Jeep. Mike over at the Fab Lab freaking killed it. If you guys ever need to build a pre-runner, want to, have the desire, hit up Mike. He's in Simi Valley, California. Killer work. And like any project, guys, there are gonna be tweaks, modifications, upgrades down the road. You know, we basically tore this thing down and rebuilt it all the way back up. So there's gonna be little issues here and there. We really hope you guys enjoyed this video. We really hope you guys enjoyed watching this Jeep work and play and go through the whoops in the desert as we are driving the Jeep. There's gonna be many more Jeep videos to come, upgrades, modifications, all that kind of stuff. If you have any questions, let us know down in the comments. And like always, thanks so much for watching.